Hi, everybody. My name is Kristen. Hi. I started coming to Gravity March of last year. Prior to that, my experience with church was very different than here. I was raised in church. My dad used to be an ordained pastor. But I learned a lot about judgment and not so much about love and mercy. The Bible was, to me, a set of rules, and if you broke those rules, you were going to burn in hell, and that was that. And I just had a really hard time reconciling that with a God who was a loving God. And so as I got older, I just kind of turned away from everything I'd been taught as a kid, and it just didn't make sense to me, because when you're taught just one aspect of God without the other, it just doesn't all add up. So by the time I made it here to Gravity last year, my husband and I were separated. I was in a very bad depression. I was a binge drinker. Once I started, I didn't stop until I was passed out, blacked out, whatever, just so that I didn't have to deal with it all. Probably the only reason I was really alive was because of my kids. And half the time I could barely take care of them. I would have to call in friends and family half the time to help me out, just so that I knew they were taken care of. And I thank God that I had those people in my life to do that. And then when I had pretty much hit rock bottom, I came here with my cousin Jamie, who was living with me at the time, and that was a whole nother part of God's plan, how she ended up on my couch. So I ended up here with her, and one of the first times I came here, Jamie asked Christy to pray with me, which she did. After I went home that night, throughout that week, things just started happening that I can't really explain. It's hard to put into words, but I just started seeing things differently, seeing things more clearly, feeling differently. I had hope, which was like crazy because everything seemed incredibly hopeless. And but God was just speaking to me, and at some point, a few days, a week, honestly, it's kind of a blur, but just at home in my bedroom by myself, just said a prayer and was like, okay, this is it. I just recommitted my life to God and was like, there's nowhere to go but up. There was no going any worse than I felt in that moment. And so I just turned it over to God. And when I went to bed that night, I had a smile on my face, which was like insane to me, considering the chaos my life was in. I called my husband the next day, told him what I had experienced. I don't think he knew what to make of it either, because, like I said, things seemed rather hopeless at the time. But during all this, not only did God show me that he was going to save me, but that he was going to save my marriage too. And like I said, I think when I said that to my husband, he possibly thought I was kind of crazy. However, now we are both living under the same roof. My kids have their mom and dad in the same home. My kids are being raised in a church and to know God as a loving God, which was what I wasn't taught as a child. So, and if somebody had told me last year that this is where I'd be today, I would have told them that they were crazy. So really, but God is the God of the impossible, and he's a miracle worker. So just don't ever give up hope. He's always there. It's like I said, he's the God of the impossible, so there's nothing that he can't do. And tonight during worship, the line that said, he has broken every chain with love and mercy, that just really touched me tonight, because like I said, as a kid, God was terrifying to me as a kid, because if I did something wrong, I was going to hell. And now there's like so much freedom in it to know that I can screw up and he's going to love and forgive me anyway. You know what I mean? There's just so much freedom in knowing all the sides of God, not just the judgment, but the love and the mercy and the grace is just so important to me. So that just really touched me tonight. So just Don't ever give up hope. He loves you. Thank you.